Welcome to Sixes Overdrive, everybody. Today is a special day. Well, actually, yesterday was a special day because I was finally able to get out and ride my motorcycle. You betcha. It has been freezing cold here all year, ice on the streets everywhere. As you'll see in the video that I took on my Insta 361R, there's still plenty of snow on the yards and everything, so it's cold. It's only 0 degrees. It's sitting right around there. I think it was +3 today, which for you people with Fahrenheit, that's like 30 to 35. So it's still cold by normal standards, so I just put on a heavy jacket, toured around town, and I thought I would show you that footage up in here while I talked about my new hobby, which is record or vinyl collecting. Not so much collecting, I like to play it. I wouldn't say I'm a collector. But anyway, I'm gonna mix and match the two as only Sixes Overdrive can, because two things that are important. I'm probably going to let this hobby die down a little bit of collecting records for the summer when it comes up and I can ride my motorbike, because I just love riding my motorbikes. But I thought I'd combine two things into one, and it's probably not going to be the best idea, but I'm going to go with it anyway. It's my channel. I get to do what I want. So let's go get some albums and talk about them and start rolling the footage on the bike footage that we got the other day. All right, I'm back, and I've got all my records here with me. I'm just going to set them down. Let's put them up here for now. So guys, why don't you tell me, as I'm doing this, these albums are all alphabetical right now, but why don't you tell me some of your favorite albums, or suggest some albums for me in the comments down below. I'd really like to hear from you. This is a social thing for me, and you know, everybody's got their own opinions. Tell me what your favorite and your worst album. Tell me if some of these albums I've got really suck, or you know, whatever we go. Let's get into it. Let's just do this. So first off, we've got Billy Idol. This is Whiplash, Smile. Now, this album was kind of cool when I was a kid. It's not as cool now. It's a little bit synthy for me now, but it's still good. You know, you got to Be a Lover on here, Sweet 16, Don't Need a Gun. You know, there's a few good songs on here. So I got this one at a garage. Some guy was just listing his records for sale, and it was part of a package. I think I got 5 of these albums for $20. This was one of them. Not too bad. It's in pretty good condition too. This is a 2-hit wonder here. The rest of the album to me is not overly great. It's from that same package where I bought 5 albums for $20, and it's in good shape. Everything's great. The vinyl's great. Everything about it is great. But there's only 2 songs on this, Why and Small Town Boy, and they're the first tracks on side 1 and side 2. So after that, you get really bored of listening to this album. It's not a very great album, but I don't know, at least not in my eyes. Tell me what you think. Now, this one, Cheap Trick. Dream Police was the only song in here. The rest is standard rock fare. Some people like this album. It's not my favorite album. I threw it in because I like the song The Dream Police. And same deal, 5 for 20. I don't know why these, I got the first 3 came in here. These are just alphabetical though. Whew, look at this one. This will be a collector's, I guess, sometime. The band has now split up, and this was one of the coolest. This is an audiophile record. This is good. This was my first one. I just started collecting again, starting at Christmas. My wife bought me this album, and then all the albums that I've got here that it's not a big collection, guys. I know that. But this has only been since Christmas, and one of these was the one that started it all off, was this one that my wife got me for Christmas. From her and the boys, and it's pretty good. Some people say it's worth some money now because the guy retired. I don't know. I'd be willing to sell it if somebody gave me the right kind of money. I'm not just going to keep it just because it's good, but I've heard it before a lot. So, David Bowie. This was one of my favorite albums growing up, and it still stands up pretty good. It sounds really good. I bought this one brand new. From Blackbird Records in Edmonton. Yeah, So I went out during Boxing Day because I got some money for Christmas, and this was one of the ones I bought. And I'm still really happy with this album. It stood up really well. One of my favorite bands of all time. When I was a kid, I had every Devo album, and this was always my favorite. The one that started it all off. Are We Not Men? We Are Devo. So happy to have this one. Same thing, I bought this with the money in Edmonton at Blackbird Records, and yeah, it was, I think it was about $26. It's got white vinyl in it. The album is actually white, and it's got a nice cover when you pull it out. It's, I like it. That's sentimental reasons from back when I was a kid. These things really come in groups. Maybe I got stuck in the DE section or something when I was at Blackbird Records, but this came in that hall too. This is an album I've always liked. Great straight ahead rock and roll. These guys are tied, the lead guy from Queens of the Stone Age is one of the guys that are in this band here. The Eagles of Death Metal, Hard On. The only thing I don't like this one is I'm a family guy, and I really don't like, and maybe you guys are different, you can put your comments down below, but I don't like it when they put like pornography and stuff inside. There's half-naked women inside in the cover of this one. That didn't impress me. I had no idea that was going to happen. But I do love the album. It's a good album. Another one from my 5 for $20. Queen the Game, one of my favorite albums growing up. And maybe it's sentimental or something, but it's still good. I still liked it. I've played this one quite a few times since I got it back again. But I'm a pretty big Queen fan. In Rainbows, Radiohead. You know, this is a different album. I bought this one a little while later. I went to, same thing, Blackbird Records in Edmonton, and I was looking, this was on my to buy list, and it was on the wall, and it was actually a pretty good deal. I think Discogs listed at $35 or $40. I was able to get this one for under $30, and it's got a nice package to it. It's got a real heavy, you can barely get the sleeve on it, it's so thick. It's a 180 gram. It's good. It's got some really, like, I like the songs in it, but there's some songs that really don't sound good on my stereo, and but that happens sometimes. Some of the songs on this one are really good. Some of them, yeah, like really almost grating. I don't know how they did this for the audio, but a lot of people think this is an audiophile record, and then other people think it's not so good. Maybe it's the needles, I don't know, the way they react to this album, but it's hit and miss on some of the songs here for audio quality. Rush, Hemispheres. Now I wouldn't say I'm a die-hard Rush fan. I've seen them live. I really like them. I'm a bass player and a drummer, and this album here, guys, if you like Rush at all and you're trying to get into them a bit, this Hemispheres album is truly great. It's got some of their pop sensibilities, but it's still very non-commercial. Like, the songs are like 9-10 minutes long a piece. They're medleys, they're epic. They have songs about the trees and stuff like that in here. But, you know, there's not very many songs on this album. But they're all really good. The musicianship is phenomenal. It's really good. I love this album. This was right before Moving Pictures with the song everybody knows, Tom Sawyer. And this one here, yeah, a lot of people really like Moving Pictures. This is the album for me. This one here really sets them apart from people, and good vocals, good guitar, good drums, good bass. It's unbelievable what this three-piece can do. They're the greatest three-piece of all time, in my personal opinion. Another Blackbird special here. This album, like for heavy rock and metal and stuff, I know it's not exactly in those categories, but I have always loved this album. This was such a different album when it came out, and it still is. Every song on this album I like a lot. You know, when I first bought it, I bought it because of Chop Suey, which everybody just loved. But man, the rest of the tracks on this thing are good. It's an album worth having. If you don't have this album, get it. It actually sounds pretty good too. This is a 180 gram, got it at Blackbird Records once again. I didn't tell you before, but that Rush album I bought at Vinyl Diner, I think, in Saskatoon. Great little place upstairs on Broadway Avenue, and that was cool. That was actually about a $40 record. That's the most expensive one I've ever bought. This one here I think I got for $26.99 at Blackbird. Good record, really good record. I really like it. I really wish these guys would have put out more stuff. This was my flashback. This is another one from the olden days that I got in that 5 for $20 deal. And yeah, this there's a couple really good songs on this, but the lead singer in this, the lady, I can't remember her name right now, Moyet, I think? Moyet? Anyway, M-O-Y-E-T. No, so that was the lead singer, and then the other guy, maybe it says it here, Clark. Vince Clark, I think was his name. Anyway, he started up Depeche Mode. He left Depeche Mode, and then Moyet and him teamed up to do Yaz. Now this was a pretty good album as far as a little synthesizer 80s pop kind of goes from Britain and Europe. And yeah, I like her voice is phenomenal. And then you've got his kind of pop sensibilities and his digital tracks on here. It's kind of neat. It's kind of like a blues new wave fusion. And I like this album, and it's in pretty good shape, and I got it in the 5 for 20. It's a little rougher on the edges, but the vinyl is really good. Upstairs at Eric's, pretty cool one if you want to get into synth pop blues. Whew. So guys, that's about it. That's all I have to say about my albums for now. Again, tell me which ones you like, which ones you don't, or tell me which ones I should put on my list based on what you saw here. You'll see some of my taste. But I like just about everything. There's a bunch of jazz albums I got to put into here, some blues and everything. I really like the record collecting, but I'm really looking forward to getting out and doing some more of this because I love motorbiking, and most of you guys know that's how this channel was born. It was all about motorbikes, and since then we've moved into pellet smoking, you know, making your briskets, showing you good recipes and tips on how to pellet smoke your food, and then of course this 45 RPM version of Sixes Overdrive. We're talking about records, and hopefully in the future we'll talk about turntables and a bunch of other things. But anyway, if you like what you saw, guys, remember to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Also ring that bell button so you get notified. This is Sixes Overdrive, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye.